Media, humanitarian journalism.
The time is just gone, 20 minutes to 10 a.m. as we continue with news and views this morning. And it's time now to have a discussion on Minister Lindiwe Sisulu. And she's written this opinion piece on January the 7th. Hi, Mzansi, have we seen justice? And there have been question marks that have been raised with regard to the comments, and there are factions within the ANC that are pushing for her firing. And also at the same time, there has been concern from the part of the judiciary because the comment essentially talks about the constitution, which is not sacred, and judges are not demigods. Now, there are political consequences to this, but also looking at it from a legal perspective, and this is the reason why we've got two guests this morning. We've got independent political analyst Tshepo Kgadima, and also Judge Johann Kriegler, retired Constitutional Court Justice, who are joining us this morning on the show. Firstly, to Tshepo Kgadima, good morning to you, and welcome to the show. Okay, we're trying to get in touch with Tshepo. Hopefully, he can join us shortly. We also have got retired judge of the Constitutional Court, Judge Johann Kriegler. Good morning to you, sir, and welcome to the show.
Good morning to you, and good morning to the listeners.
Yes, wonderful that you are able to join us. Now, we are still waiting for Tshepo to basically join us. But just looking at your initial response and your reading into these remarks and this opinion piece that was written by Minister Lindiwe Sisulu, Judge Kriegler.
I don't think a great deal of the opinion piece, and I don't think it's an opinion piece. I think it's a political rocket that is being sent up, announcing a certain political plan for the future. It's not there to inform anybody. It's a declaration of war.
Well, it clearly is a declaration of war because just looking at the responses that have come through, where there have been now calls for her axing as well. So it is clear that politically, this op-ed or this opinion piece, and as you mentioned, you don't think it is an opinion piece, it's personally motivated, but clearly it has ruffled many a feather, Judge Kriegler.
No, certainly it has, and it's unbecoming for a minister to issue a statement in such a tone and with such content. There is no possible justification, whatever the political motives, to malign, smear the names of all black judges in the country. They have not deserved it. They are doing an honorable job as best they can. It is unbecoming for a cabinet minister to launch such an attack on people who can't defend themselves. They're not in the political arena. Judges don't engage in debate and social media or in the public print media. They're sitting ducks. And the minister knew this. She's been in the cabinet for donkey's years. She's been a party to everything that has been done by government in the last 25 years. And for her to use the judges as an excuse to indicate her candidacy for party leadership, I think is unbecoming a minister.
Yes, I see we've got Tshepo Kgadima who's joined us. Tshepo, welcome to you. And we have got retired Judge Johann Kriegler with us as well. So welcome to the show, Tshepo. No, I think he's having a slight problem connecting. We're going to continue with retired Judge Johann Kriegler. Now, the key issue here is the Constitution, and obviously, being a retired judge of the Constitutional Court yourself, and with the Constitution also coming under the radar, and when she speaks about the Constitution not being sacred, what does she mean?
I think it means that values that are enshrined in the Constitution aren't inviolate. that they can be diminished, that the Constitution can be amended, and that is indeed so. Of course, the Constitution isn't sacred. It can indeed be amended in any part of it, but the Constitution is the Constitution. It is the senior of all our other laws, and it provides for certain basic values, relationships in the state. To the extent that it is the Constitution, it rightly is difficult to amend. A Constitution is a senior law, a master law. It is not to be tampered with for any simple daily challenge that this politician or that politician may have. It sets the rules by which the political game is played. You don't change the rules because you don't like the way the game is going.
Yes, thank you for that. Yes, Tshepo is with us. Tshepo, good morning to you and welcome.
Good morning to the listeners.
Yes, it's clear, and I'm not too sure how much you've obviously heard retired Judge Kriegler speaking about this piece, saying that, this is, can we even define this as an opinion piece? But clearly it has become a very, very hot potato to handle for Minister Lindiwe Sisulu, Tshepo.
Look, I think I would like to say this, that whether Minister Lindiwe Sisulu or any other member of parliament is within their rights to make suggestions or proposals, or even to opine on whether the constitution should be amended, that does not mean disloyalty to the constitution. If anything, they are the most appropriate, because members of parliament are the ones that are enjoined in duty to be able to bring about any constitutional reforms and any constitutional amendments if that need be. And as far as the question of whether she went too far, that is Minister Lindiwe Sisulu, in critiquing, or some even say that criticizing the judiciary without having named certain specific judges, I don't think that is a big issue. Safe to say the following: I think what we have seen coming from the judiciary, whereby justices, particularly the office of the Chief Justice, have been making certain public pronouncements and going on a roadshow, so to speak, on matters of public discourse. That is what I think is the heart of the problem. Judges and the judiciary should only be heard from the judges, that the judgments they deliver, and not from any other platform. We should not learn of an opinion or a view of justice other than what they write, the judgments that they would have delivered. So I think that, if anything, the judiciary of South Africa have brought themselves into disrepute by having taken a public posture on many other instances. And lastly, I would like to say the following. Now we have a situation whereby the acting Chief Justice of the country, I don't know if he took counsel or what, he agreed, whilst he was a serving Deputy Chief Justice of the country, to then chair a commission. And that commission, unfortunately, through its work and the manner in which he handled many things, he really brought the whole judiciary into this space of public discourse. And I think that has been unfortunate. So if anything, it's only the judges that can redeem themselves by now ensuring that, in the army language, they must go back to the barracks, they must go back to the chambers, and not be taking the public posture that they have been doing in order to save the very constitution. But as for the constitutional reforms, I think the constitutional reforms, amendments that are fundamental, as per some of the issues raised by Minister Lindiwe Sisulu, that is long overdue. And perhaps that is where, as South Africans, we need to focus our energies as to Is the Constitution serving the aspirations, the needs? Is it really the spirit and the letter of the Constitution? Is it as intended, or are many other issues that I think be looked into? And I certain issues that need to be looked into, the need for constitutional reform and amendment.
Yes, I'd just like Judge Crisler's comment on what you've had to say, Tshepo. And obviously, there have been question marks that have been raised, or huge questions that have been raised. But also at the very same time, Judge Kriegler, when one looks at some of the responses that have come through, we've seen Ronald Lamola, for instance, saying that the attacking the very institution that is to uphold the Constitution goes against the grain of everything that we wanted to change from before 1994. So there are certain quarters, and particularly when one look at it from the legal side, where the opinion piece is spoken about having elements that are an insult against judges.
Look, we must try to debate this issue honestly. The issue is not, as far as I am concerned, that the minister attacked one particular judge or another particular judge for what that judge had done. What she did was she reviled all of the black judges in the country with a sweeping attack on their integrity and on their loyalty to their job. That is what she did. It isn't that she criticized a particular judge. Let's get that point clear. She took a broad swipe at a whole category of people who have not ever been said before to have involved themselves in anything that they should not have done. As far as the acting Chief Justice is concerned, he did not ask to be appointed to chair a commission of inquiry. He was appointed to do so. He was nominated by the Chief Justice in pursuit of the objectives that the public protector had set. He had a job to do. His job was to dig into filth in our public administration. In the course of that, he disturbed a number of people who were engaged or had been engaged in unlawful activity. One of them was the former president. Instead of going to the commission and answering the questions or dealing with whatever he thought was wrong in what had been said to the commissioner, the Chief Justice saw fit to show contempt for the commission, he and his clever lawyers playing ducks and drakes and then walking out on the commission.
Yes, thank you for that. We've got before we get to Tshepo, we've got a voice note that has come through from Maibuye Mandela. So let's just take a quick listen, and then we're going to get to Tshepo.
Before Lindiwe Sisulu, the upcoming president of the Republic of South Africa, is a minister, is a citizen, and a child of this country. So she has every right to practice freedom of speech with no limitations. Judge Zondo, what he did by stripping in public the minister, her right to freedom of speech, that is in the Bill of Rights, simple, that is in the Bill of Rights, it counts as gender-based violence and it's not acceptable. We will stand with the Minister of Tourism, Lindiwe Sisulu, and support her. The Chief Justice, Acting Chief Justice Zondo, must make a public apology to the Minister of Tourism for what she has done and for misleading the nation at large.
Yes, that was the voice of Maibuye Mandela. And Tshepo, just to bring you into the discussion now, just to understand what does this mean for the ruling party? What does this mean for the ANC? Because we've heard about the National Working Committee hearing calls for her axing over what is termed this controversial opinion piece. Tshepo, are you able to hear me? Or did you hear what I said? Yes, I think we are having a slight problem once again linking up with Tshepo, but perhaps Judge Kriegler, I should possibly ask you this question as well, just looking at it from a governance perspective, because it's clear that the government is under the spotlight, the ANC government in particular, and just to understand what does this mean politically for the ruling party?
You know, I do not want to talk about politics. I'm not an expert on politics. I'm an expert on constitutional law. I do, however, want to respond to what Tshepo said a minute ago. He cannot take he's entitled to his own opinion. He's entitled to freedom of speech, but he's not entitled to his own facts. He can't pick the facts as he thinks they were and present them as such. He thought that Acting Chief Justice Zondo should apologize to the minister is surely ludicrous. He responded on behalf of the judges to an unwarranted and undeserved and improper attack on the judiciary as a whole. He was entitled to do so, and he did so. There's no cause for any kind of apology there. If he is involved in politics, he is involved because he was drawn into it in the commission of inquiry. It's always a risk when judges get involved in political issues. Sometimes they've got to. Normally they don't, and usually they avoid any temptation to do so. But when you're appointed to head a commission of inquiry into political matters, you do the job. You do the job as impartially as you possibly can. There is, to this moment, nothing that Acting Chief Justice Zondo did vis-a-vis ex-President Zuma that can be shown to have been improper in any respect. There is a case pending at the moment. I don't know what is said in that case, but on what has been published up to now, it is political bluster to cover the fact that the ex-president rightly did not feel he could go and answer questions, because what he would answer would show how deeply he was involved in state capture, how deeply he was involved in the erosion of state institutions. Our tax base has been largely destroyed. Our tax gathering capacity has been very materially damaged by what was done by the agents on behalf of then President Zuma.
Judge Johann Kriegler.
The issue is not what Judge Zondo said or did. The issue is what ex-President Zuma did and what the minister has now done. Those are the issues on the table.
Yes, and I think, in fact, we could sum it up in a few words where obviously anybody would welcome criticism, but insults are definitely a no-no. And this has been seen as an insult.
Well, it certainly wasn't criticism. The minister did not just say, Judge this did this and Judge so-and-so did that, or these judges did the following, or even that the judges are in general tending to do this which they should not do. She merely used abusive language, which one of her political advisors takes from the United States and smears a body of decent public servants with a nasty, underhand attack on their integrity.
Well, Judge Johann Kriegler, thank you very much for that, for your time. Sadly, we had a problem with Tshepo Kgadima, but we will try and get hold of him on a better line, hopefully tomorrow. But for now, we thank you. We appreciate you taking time out, talking to us this morning on News and Views on this topic. All the best to you, sir.
Goodbye and salam to all of your listeners.
That was retired Judge Johann Kriegler, Judge of the Constitutional Court, and unfortunately, Tshepo Kgadima, just to get political comment and looking at the political comments. But we want to say we thank him, obviously, for coming on, but hopefully we will get him tomorrow. I see you have joined us once again, Tshepo. Just before we say goodbye to you, final comments, anything that you'd like to comment on? We've got a minute or two. Well,
Look, I
definitely
can only
we
say the
are having.
following. I think it,
Yes, Tshepo, I think you're
hello.
breaking up very, very
Yeah,
badly. Yes.
yeah, yeah. I'm sorry about that. I wish we had a better line. I think maybe we'll have to try again. But I can say only the following: that it remains wrong for the acting Chief Justice to have then taken to the public rostrum in order to try and address the issues. Courts and the judiciary work under rules. So the question is, how are we as South Africans at large supposed to now respond, and what are we supposed to do with his response to Minister Lindiwe Sisulu's criticism? Because it is not under any ambit of any rules, and hence it is important for the judiciary to remain in chambers and speak only through judgments and not try and take a publication's stance on issues where they are being criticized. Should the constitution be amended? Absolutely. And I think there are very fundamental issues that must be brought for amendment before the National Assembly, that really can change the lives of the people of South Africa for the better.
Yes, obviously, Tshepo, this discussion is not going to go away in a hurry, and I'm sure we will be engaging with you at some point in time. But for now, we have run out of time, sadly. All the best to you, sir, and please take care. Right, that was Tshepo Kgadima with us, and sadly, we couldn't get him on a better line, but I'm sure this is an issue that we definitely will follow up. It does require not only analysis and discussion from a legal perspective, but also looking at it from a political perspective, because clearly there are political consequences as a result of these remarks and this opinion piece by Minister Lindiwe Sisulu. And also some of the issues when one looks at the responses. Ronald Lamola made it very, very clear, saying that attacking the very institution that is to uphold the Constitution goes against the grain of everything and we wanted to change. From before 1994, we've seen Karen Amon saying that what the tourism minister Lindiwe Sisulu's comparison of black judges to house Negroes crossed a democracy threatening line and demanded a response from the judiciary. We've seen other comments, like, for instance, that we should not be surprised by Sisulu's attack on the Constitution and the judiciary, because she selfishly believes in what works for her and her only. And just another comment where from the and this has come through from the torchbearer for its radical economic transformation faction, saying that she has no right to rubbish the Constitution that she swore to uphold. So it has become a major talking point, not only from a legal perspective, but a hot political potato for the ANC that is brewing in the background. The time is just gone 3 minutes past 10. Once again, it's been an absolute pleasure being in your company. I'll be back with you once again on News and Views. To the Salam Media listeners, viewers, and also One Nation 88.9 FM, have yourself a wonderful day. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.